And of course you insert your SD card. So your SD card is going to have some video there. And I don't even know where I had imported it. So, so that's essentially what you'll do when you first walk in. And then you go to Final Cut Pro. And so if you had somebody else working on a project before you came in, their stuff might be in there. So you want to make sure that you create folders and such that you can save all of your work. So the first thing you'll want to do is create a new library for you. This could be in your own one of your courses. It could be in LaSalle TV. I'm going to put mine in media for ITB tutorial. So so that's good. Of course, I called it untitled. I probably should have called it something else. But anyway, and then you also want to create a new project. I always create a new project. The old Final Cut allowed you to do everything all at once rather than doing these different steps. But I'm going to call this ITB tutorial. And this just gives a particular project a title. So one is where your media is going to be held, and this is going to create your timeline for you. And so then you'll go into importing your media. And so you can go here to import your media, or you can go to File and Import Media. And you can, so I have, this of course looks, there we go. So I've got all of my lovely pictures from the the building because it was too hot outside. It also tells you how long all your videos are, and so I know this was just my turning on the camera by accident. This was turning on my camera. So you can what is it, option click, is it, or command click? Yeah. Hit command click and that has the clips that you actually want. So as you can see, this is 1 second, and just select whichever videos that you want. I thought that was 2. Anyway, and then you import those. Okay. We'll put all that stuff into your timeline, into your project. So why is this not working? Okay, so then one thing you want to make sure is that once your import is complete, you want to inject that SD card, because what happens is if you don't, then it's always going to look to that media card. Okay, so then you start the editing process. And the editing process is mostly just about you finding which clips best suit your story. And I always suggest to students to not just slap all your video onto the timeline and cut from here. It's mostly because I'm a purist and I come from an old school of actually videotape editing, but it's also a good idea because then you're being much more wise in your choice of your shots, and it's also going to look better when you're actually really thinking about the best version of the shot rather than, okay, slapping everything together. So I always just kind of play you can do a couple of different things. You can just drag the end. This is just one shot. It really isn't that exciting. It's just the hallway. And you can hit the space bar to play the clip, or you can kind of click within the clip. You can hit the J key. That's going to play it backwards. You can hit L to play it forward. hit K is gonna K is gonna pause it, but you also hit the space bar. So I'm just gonna kind of put an in point. So what you can do is you can hit the I key, and I think there's also, you can also go to set range, start. That's new. And then I'm gonna just give it a couple seconds, and that's about exciting as it gets. And then I'm gonna hit O for my out point. And so then you can just kind of pop it onto your timeline. And from here you can make the timeline a little bit bigger by hitting Command and equal. That just makes it a little bit bigger. And for me, I like it because you can also play around with the audio. Okay. And then you go to your next clip, and so again, you want to make sure, especially if the shot is moving. See how it's like all wiggly and stuff? Of course, I would probably not use this shot, but I was just seeing what kind of picture these cameras put out. So, so you can just play your video. And that's just not the best shot, so I'm just going to clip it a little bit tighter. And then you can go around and just, I think that was a better shot. So this is just different ways of getting, that one's a little bit better. So hit an out point. I'm going to delete this one, so just kind of pull it out there. You can also like lift it. I had the wrong delete button. It's the delete button on the right keyboard rather than the main keyboard. I'm going to use this shot instead. So it just is a little better. And then the next one, so I'm just going to put 3 shots in. Of course, I cheated because I did not use the tripod. So in the past, you were able to put the clip wherever the playhead was, but we're just using drag and drop for now. So again, we've just got this brief little clip, and you can just play. Again, you adjust your audio from here. That's the audio of the clip overall. We're just getting started right now, so and again, there's also no audio, as you can see from here. If you don't see your audio on your workspace, you want to go to, it's in your workspace. So you go to your workspace and make sure, so see what happens, it goes away. So you go show in workspace. I like to have as much information on my workspace as possible. And then from here, if you just, if you're happy with this is just, a quick VO. You can add dissolves if you want, but I'm not a big fan of any of these transitions. I almost always never suggest transitions unless it's a passage of time, and then use cross dissolve. The best thing for transitions is graphics. You can do some really cool things in graphics in more advanced classes. So that's essentially what you want to do. So after you've put together your brilliant project, you can't just kind of drag and drop your project file into your inbox or anything like that. You have to export the media. So this, essentially what this is a set of hyperlinks in so many words. So what you have to do is export the media file. And there's different codecs, so compressions that are standard in television. So we use H.264. And Final Cut Pro, this was a new one for me, allows you to automatically have a lot of these codecs already pre-installed. So it's very, very nice that Selena, whoever she is, was we could share to her Facebook. Not a good idea. You can also go to YouTube. So you'll go, it gives you a little bit more information. This gives you the 720p because ultimately what I would want to do is I would sign into my YouTube account, which is what I'll use for this tutorial, but it gives you the proper codec that you would need. I would always put your videos, unless you want to show them all to the world, put them in unlisted. And I mean, yeah, you can call it film and animation. I always put mine in education. But that's if you feel comfortable in signing into your own YouTube account from here. Then you can also go to share, and you can just export the file. Just export it the way that it is. Again, it gives you the H.264, and so it just gives you the file. But the way that we have it here, we want you to do it this way. We would like you to, the default is the master file. And again, you check the settings. Obviously, you want your video. If you are doing a podcast, I wouldn't suggest doing podcasts in Final Cut Pro. I would do another one. But if you just have audio, it just saves a lot of space. Just do audio only. So just leave all the settings that are already done in there, and then you hit next. And I'm going to save mine into ITB tutorial. And then it'll save as an MOV file. So if I go to media for so there it is. This is the absolute stellar piece of video that we have. I don't know why it's still, but anyway. So yes, that is your very, very basics, just as how to get stuff done. All right.